from all, to all, with all, for all, through all. We thank the gods of creation. We thank the ancestors. We thank the forces of nature. And we thank the earth. We thank them for their direction, their protection, their guidance, for keeping us, showing us, allowing us to know and enjoy life to its fullest, now and later.
Black people who once loved with the slow march of time. Time was ours to hold in the soft, low-born chambers of our hearts. And once we, the Afro mommies and daddies of a sun world, would turn our strands of hair into antennas to tune in the juju madness and syncopated love rhythms of Africa. And we loved with time, and we took the time to love. And with the right time we love, and we love time after time. Will we ever love again? Will we ever love again? Will we really ever love again? Or will we just sit and rot away with the brighter tomorrows in the skag field, rat-cluttered halls of our minds? Black people, what y'all gonna do? Black people, what y'all gonna do? Will the real black people please stand up?
Let our rejoicing rise high as listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the...
Jumbo Habari, and welcome once again to Our Story, the program that makes being black positive, relevant, desirable, and true to a lost nation in America. A program that speaks to the historical significance of the original people of the earth. Our Story Network takes pride in setting itself away from other programs that centers on entertainment or rhetorical mumbo-jumbo that misdirects your attention onto other things, that causes you to exhaust your resources and renders you brain dead. It is Our Story who talks about commitment to you and your people. It is Our Story that champions the reestablishment of the black genius that once ruled the world. It is Our Story that focuses you in on the rewards of black advocacy, black activism, black involvement, and black power. It is Our Story that encourages survival of the black race and solicits your involvement to that end. Black folks must remember, race first is the call of the day, and we as a people must. I say must take the pledge if we, the people of the original race, expect to survive. As I take the many lessons I have received over the years and reflect upon them by sharing these lessons with my brothers and sisters, I realize the power that we as a people possess for the most part has gone unnoticed. The masses of black folks who have been rendered lost and disenfranchised from the meaning and mission our creators intended for us to embrace is all but depleted. It is because of the mission and meaning of the life of our ancestors that I realized how blessed as black people we really are. What fascinates me are the many gifts I have been granted, which allows me to distribute the information onward to you. As always, that message begins and ends with the importance of blackness. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Greetings, friends, comrades, family, the inquisitive onlookers, and our beloved viewers. Welcome, welcome, and welcome to Our Story Network. We thank you for being with us this evening, and we trust you will take something of value away with you after the program. That is the aim and goals of Our Story Network, the network that leads the pack in modern-day communications and ancient and modern education. I say ancient and modern education because of the many errors we have found in the translations and interpretations of ancient records. The modern revelations by new black scholars have opened the window of discovery that has allowed the truth and knowledge originally disseminated by black masters of education to flourish once again. This is one of the stumbling blocks that has kept black people from rebuilding their greatness and recapturing their birthright. Good evening, brothers and sisters. We are here this evening to complete the two-part commemoration of Hurricane Katrina. But before we continue the commemoration, I want to invite you to the opening reception for This Is America by the visual art student Bahrain Franks, a student at Xavier University. The reception will take place free of charge on Thursday, September the 6th, beginning at 6 p.m. at Xavier University's Art Village Gallery, located at 3520 Pine Street, Building 39. I am inviting you to join with me to support our youth in our community. Now, before we conclude the commemoration of Katrina, I want to comment on the problems we as blacks are having with America. In my travels around the country, I have found the reasons why we, as a people, are having so many problems with surviving in America. The reason is we have lost our way. Instead of pursuing a journey based on the black creation story, most blacks have decided to pursue the course based on the creation of white people. I know many of you will be bewildered at what I am actually saying, but think about it. What is definite, or what is defined as culture, as we have accepted the definition today, black folks are championing the reproduction of a white movie. The movie could easily be called White Like Me, a play on the 1964 movie Black Like Me. Every aspect of John Finley Horton's actions to become black is the same behaviors blacks are reenacting today, trying to become white. Now, I know many of you are appalled at me suggesting this, probably because you are busy trying to be white yourself. However, when you spend the bulk of your time and money catering to the image that allows you to think you are accepted, well, think again. Now, to all of you so-called Christians who believe you are going to heaven, well, I have a bridge that crosses the Mississippi River connecting the west bank to the east bank of New Orleans, and it's very cheap. I even can arrange a payment plan for you. I say this because God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost could not have you believe the Holy Trinity created you and then would allow you to make any changes to your appearance and sexual orientation. What is essential, what is the essence this says is God can make mistakes and man has a right to correct those mistakes. So since the Trinity allows for the changing of sexual orientation and the altering of God-given features and color, I suppose the attempt to become white is all right. Now, while you are processing this, think about the fact that blacks have been on the face of this earth long before the white race. Yet whites are the model blacks have taken as the correct means of displaying maturity. Now here is the twist. Blacks are the original people of the earth, which means blacks were given the position and authority of the chosen people of the earth. The white race has been moving to replace the black race as the chosen people in order to justify their role as the leadership of the earth. So when you try to change your identity, what you are doing is, in essence, is displaying yourself in favor of uplifting an alien being to the position of the chosen people. This is the same as spending your time and your entire work history climbing the ladder of success, making it, then meeting a stranger who just started in the workplace and giving your position and salary to that person while assuming their entry-level position. Boy, that makes all the sense in the world. As ridiculous as that sounds, trying to change your hair, skin color, and position on earth is more ridiculous than giving a stranger your wealth. This brings me back to the problems with the black communities of America. Using the successes of the 1950s and 60s, black organizations were educating the black communities in both culture and political knowledge. Recently, Mayor Cantrell stated, and I'll paraphrase, we need to find the answers to the crime and murder problems in New Orleans. What Mayor Cantrell and other black political officials will not address is the need to bring cultural and political training back into the conversation and implementation of the black community. The problems in the black community are the same problems as in the white communities. The differences are whites take care of their people, while blacks must prove they are loyal to the white race by not supporting or sharing the political pie with their communities. The question that will answer this question is, why have all of the components of education concerning culture and politics been removed from the black community? Back in the 50s and 60s, culture and politics were a mainstay of the educational arena, giving black people the knowledge to compete toe-to-toe with white people. Today, that component has been removed. What we got in place is register and vote. Nothing more to stimulate the black populace to give them skin in the game. This is why we as blacks are not competing in any of the arenas that would increase wealth and political power. The black organizations are not doing it. The institutions of learning are not doing it. The religious centers are not doing it. So why are we as black individuals expected to know this? Crime and murder are direct results of lack of opportunity. Drugs and guns are a direct result of crime and murder. This is known as a vicious cycle. Interestingly enough, the white establishment concludes that guns and drugs need to be removed from the black community as a means of correcting the problems. But the people responsible for guns and drugs are never arrested or pursued by the policing authorities. Store owners who supply the guns and drugs are never targeted by the police. These store owners can even participate in murder and not be held accountable for their participation in that murder. Just think, you give someone a knife and tell them to go and get someone, and that someone is then killed by the person you gave the knife to. That is clearly accessory to murder. But alien store owners do this and are not even held accountable. This is all because black folks have no power. In fact, black people have lost power than we did. We have less power than we did 50 years ago. So we need to continue this conversation in the weeks and months to come. But for tonight, we need to conclude this historic interview with Brother Malik Rahim. By the way, I received an email from a viewer who suggested that a day or a week needs to be set aside to honor Brother Malik Rahim for the work he has done over the years. We will talk about that more in the coming weeks as well. But for the conclusion of the Hurricane Katrina commemoration, I give you Brother Malik Rahim, one of the founders of Common Ground. Just a party. What is it going to take to get many of us out of that mentality where we do nothing for preparation and only concerned with self-gratification?
It's going to take you, because you have a voice. You have the means of exposing, of ringing that bell. Your show, Our Story. It's going to take you. It's going to take you to stand up like you're doing right now and saying that this is not right. You know, that I don't care what it takes. It's going to take individuals like you. It's not like WBOK. It's going to take that, because without it, we are lost. You know, because if we sit around and we look at these so-called leaders, ask any of them what is their plan for their community. Ask any of them if their community. Ask the Zulus. They could run around and put all this black paint and white lips on each other and run around the city. Ask them, is they prepared? What are they prepared to do? Ask some of these individuals that run for office. You know, what are you planning on doing? Ask them as they tell everybody to move to New Orleans East, an area of this city that's more prone to flooding than any place else. You know, what you gonna do for these people once they get there? You move them out to New Orleans East, and now what they gonna do? You know, if there's a hurricane, you know, how you gonna help them? You know, yeah, you could scatter them off, but see, New Orleans is a unique city. It's very few cities where you don't live in the city live in you. You know, you could run a person, because they thought show that they could, after Katrina, because we had politicians, racist politicians that said that this was God sent. That God sent a hurricane to do what they couldn't do. And that displaced our poor. You know, that's no longer being tolerated. You know, so what they gonna do? Is they gonna imprison all of us? You know, I mean, right now you got to remember, under a state of emergency, Donald Trump can enslave almost half of the male population in New Orleans, because the 13th Amendment give him that right. You know, because with that exception clause, you know, it say, yeah, we're gonna end slavery in all the states and territory of this nation, with the exception of those that have been duly convicted of a crime. They didn't say a felony or a misdemeanor. They say a crime. So what they did with us after slavery? The vagary law. You can't find a job, so we could pick you up now and convict you of vagrancy. And now we could work you to death. And don't say that it can't happen again, because it's happening every day. Every day you could go to Angola and see nothing but slaves. You could call them convicts. You could call them prisoners, but they slave. You dig? And and don't tell me you won't work them to death, because you're working them to death every day. You know, I mean, here in this city here, I mean, we have 7 universities, 3 black universities. Ask where's they playing? It's just the 3 black ones, not the white ones, just the 3 black ones. Ask them what is they playing in case of an emergency. Did each one of them say, well, hey, I'm gonna take Algiers, or well, one gonna take Uptown, or one gonna take Downtown, and we're gonna work with them, and we're gonna make sure that there's some kind of emergency response plan.
Only plan I've ever heard of from the universities, Dillard, Xavier, and Southern, are plans to evacuate their students and faculty out of here.
But is that a plan?
Not for the people of New Orleans, no.
So it ain't no plan. You know, and then and if they have to return, and each one of these universities is damaged or destroyed, then what is the plan?
You know, I've worked with you for a good while, and I have noticed that you have not received any real recognition from the city or the politicians in here. I have always assumed that the reason you have not received recognition is because you shamed the politicians so badly when you put together a plan in the city and started working the plan with the people and became so successful at that, when the people that had the resources weren't able to do it. Do you get many of them calling you for counsel or any advice as to what they could or should be doing?
In the aftermath of Katrina, when we found the common ground, and you got to remember, please remember that common ground was founded by members of the Black Panther Party. Even the name of the common ground came from Robert King Wilkerson,
Who was in Angola at the time.
No, he was out.
Oh, he was out.
He was out. Herman Wallace was in Angola, and Albert Woodfox. But from solitary confinement cells, they did more than any of the politicians that was in this city. They did more than Ray Nagin. They did more than any other politician at that time. No, I never had one that even come in and ask me anything. I never received no recognition. When everybody else was receiving the little $2,000 that they was giving people, I never received $1. Right now, I'm fighting to keep my mother's home where common ground was found at that. If you would come to my house, I've yet to get any funds for the repairs of it. So again, no, I haven't seen anything. Right now, the reason why I had this stroke is because of what I'm trying to do. At 70 years old, I have to talk about going back to work. Because of the fact that FEMA never gave me a dime. Listen, City Park wouldn't even be open if it wasn't for the work that we did. Grand Isle wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for how many volunteers we sent out there to help with the wetlands. And there, one of them, I never got a free ticket to the Jazz Fest, less on any funding. No, I haven't seen none of them. Only assistance I get is from the grassroots. And with most of them, they look at me and they say, well, hey man, I won't help nobody. Look at all the help, look at all the people you help, and then look what kind of shape you in. Listen, I can't even drive. They took my driver's license, they took my passport. So again, there was no recognition. You give me a plaque with appreciation, for nothing. But I can't go and spend it. Every year around this time, I go through this. But as I'm getting older, now my health failed me, because of it. But the good part about it is now you got some young people that's coming up and they're asking me, because one thing about it, the truth gonna be told. You can't hide the truth forever, and they're coming around, and I'm teaching them emergency preparedness, because they know I'm probably more prepared for a disaster than anyone in this city, and this is a thing that we got to be able to teach them. You got to be able to teach them, well, hey man, this is how you do the soil remediation. This is how you brew a bacteria tea so that you can make sure that that where you return to gonna be safe, environmentally safe for you and your family to come back to. These are some of the steps that you need to make. Why you need to do it. Why you need to, before you leave, take all the toxins that's in your garage and under your sink, in your kitchen and bath, and make sure that you take it out. If the water that inundated Katrina, it wasn't toxic when it first got here. Well, that water turned toxic because of the heavy metals, because of the toxins that we had in the city. And we didn't do no remediation. We just, in our quest to rid this city of all the metric tons of water, we just dumped it in the most fragile environment that exists in Louisiana. And that's our lakes, streams, and wetlands. And now we eating out of it. We eating it. And nobody's saying nothing. Yeah, everybody say, if you eating that seafood for a week or two, it's probably cool. 2 times or a month out of the year. But people here eat it every month.
Every week.
So again, is it safe for them? Where was the remediation work done? Did they say, well, hey, with the colleges, that hey, we're gonna waive your tuition or your school fees. If you would come up in here and start helping with the rebuilding. Did we do any deconstruction, or did we do just demolition? You know, and that's what we have to look at. In the Ninth Ward, most of those old houses, they might have been old, they might have been raggedy. Those houses was made of cypress or waterwood. We didn't save any of it. And then we replaced them with white pine. Yeah, you done rebuilt your house in white pine. That's all you gotta do is go look at the houses that Brad Pitt built. And you can see what happened when you build with white pine. Now they ain't lasting. We destroyed the projects. All the projects were made of bricks. And we rebuilt them in wood. That's all you gotta do is go to the Ninth Ward and see what happened to wooden structures in a stone. They were wiped away. The only structures that survived was brick. You know, but where is it? Do we tell people about elevation? You know, how to elevate their houses? You know, no, we still got individuals buying houses and building houses on slabs. You know, so again, it's, you know, we're gonna have to, WC, especially under the era of Trump. You know, we're gonna have to get our act more together. The party is over for us. Either we're gonna go back from the inner reconstruction and experience that again, or we're gonna make sure that we prepared to take care of ourselves, because we can no longer depend on others. You know, because you know, if a man have to make a decision on his family or your family, it's gonna always be his family. You know, so again, we have to make sure that we could take care of our family, and just running ain't no answer.
Hey, how y'all doing? I got food, Mr. Rahim.
All right.
Okay, we're understanding that there needs to be some serious changes, not only in community, but individual and family. What suggestions do you have, first for the individual and second for the family?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, as for the individual and family, they need to go to the Red Cross. I don't have any plans for the family or for the individual. I'm talking about communities. How can a community come together? How can a community come together to make sure that that if we evacuate, we're gonna evacuate as a community, and we're gonna return as a community. That we're gonna take and make sure that our schools in our community is used for emergency shelters. How can we make sure that food is there? How can we make sure that we are no longer running around and having people buy gas generators when there's no gas station open in the city? You know, and then how to use it, how to use a chainsaw, how to make sure that there's enough tools that a person that now don't have a job can buy the tools or have the tools made available to do the kind of work that needs to be done to repair their home. You know, these are the things that, how can we start teaching people, you know, how to do the soil remediation, how to do the mold abatement, you know. When is the time for to talk about closing up those walls? You know, how to make sure that this area is safe. How do you, where is your medical center? That you're gonna make sure that there's a place that you could go and get the tetanus shots. You know, how can you make sure that these kids don't have to sit around and just look at dead bodies? How can you make sure that the elderly is being cared for? I'm 70 years old and just had a stroke. You know, I mean, the Lord has blessed me, I could get around. But how many seniors in this city can't get around? How many of them in facilities like this facility that I'm in right now? What would happen to them? You know, we got to make sure of this. You know, they say proper planning prevent poor performance. You know, so we got to start planning. We got to start planning properly. We got to sit down and lock heads and say, well, hey man, listen, my church is gonna be a beacon in case of a hurricane. And you return, we're gonna have this facility back open. This faith-based institution gonna be open and it's gonna be serving our community. How can we make sure that this happens? How can we make sure that food will not be a problem? How can we make sure that water will not be a problem? How can we make sure of this without us coming together? You know, and it's easy to prepare for it. You know, I mean, listen, in the aftermath of Katrina, they was able to use Algiers as a launching board for the city's recovery. Why? Because we at Common Ground cleaned over 300 storm drains. We made sure that after Katrina, that when Rita hit, that Algiers didn't flood. Where's the plan for it now? You know, I mean, no one from, and I'm gonna tell you, it hurts when you sit around and you look at so-called community and politicians, community leaders and politicians, sit up and talk all this madness and don't have a plan. You know, it really hurts. You know, they said that one of the reasons why I had this stroke was because of stress. Because every year when they come around this time, I suffer with that. You know, I'm no longer a young man. I mean, I've been blessed that I got a group of young men that's willing to sit down and listen to me. You know, but they don't have. You know, I mean, but just think, WC, if we put out a drive for 1,000 hammers, 1,000 saws, 1,000 wheelbarrows. And then we have a place that we are storing them in to make sure that everybody have the opportunity of respirators. Ask every family around here what's an N95 dust mask. They don't even know this. You know, these are and these things we could easily do. You know, I mean, I'm not telling to give it to me, but if we had it, if instead of the police working against the community and the fire department working against the community, because in the aftermath of Katrina, all the firemen had guns. They didn't have no Band-Aids or no paramedics. They had guns. In the fire house on Opelousas, they had water stacked up in there from floor to ceiling and wouldn't give away one bottle. How can we make sure that it don't happen again? How can we make sure that the vigilantes that roamed Algiers killing at will? Because I'm going to tell you something. The city hall was the courthouse. So from that courthouse, I know they could hear them shooting. No one said, well, you know, why is they shooting in the Algiers? Because again, there haven't been one vigilante that done been arrested. And that not one of them been charged with anything. So how can we have to make sure, it's upon us to make sure that it don't happen again? Because if we just sit around and wait on the government, it's going to happen again. You know? Especially when you have a government that don't care about you. And you can't say that in the richest country on this planet, that you have this kind of poverty. You know? And again, every time, I hate going in the night ward. Because every time I go in the night ward, it's upset me. Because there's no reason for it to be in the dismal shape that it's in now. I hate looking at kids have to walk down blocks without any lights. Have to walk down blocks with fields, with the wilderness. You know, I hate to go out there and see it, but we don't care. In our experience as Africans in America, because I don't classify myself as an African American. I classify myself as an African living in America. How can you say that you could have the biggest events held in this country, held here in America?
Hey, how y'all doing?
And this is the kind of shape we're in. You know, so again, you know, I mean, we have to we have to do much better than. I'm sorry, but that stroke have a little bit of impact upon me, my brother.
That's all right. You're doing very well.
You know, we have to start making arrangements to make sure that our community is, you know, have the basics. At least the basics. Right now, we don't even have the basics. You know, I mean, if a storm would come through here, like would hit Hawaii, if that would hit here, what would we do? You know, I mean, what would we do? I mean, we know that the rich are gonna flee. They have that ability. But what about the working poor? What about those that can't, that after 2 or 3 weeks, they don't have no money? What they gonna do? What you gonna do when economic condition, force you to leave an area that's not flooded to come back here? How you gonna make your mortgage payment? You think here and have a safe place for your children? You know, I mean, look how many weeks it was before trailers was allowed here. You know, I mean, but in the interim, how you gonna survive? What you'll do if Red Cross stopped serving food? What would you do if they stopped giving you water? Or what they allocate for you that done ran out? How you gonna clean yourself? How you gonna wash your dishes? How you gonna make sure that just the basics you have for you and your family? You know? And again, they're prepared. They are prepared because FEMA is no longer FEMA. FEMA is Homeland Security. You could call it FEMA, but it's Homeland Security. And Homeland Security is not about providing aid. It's about providing protection. Protection for who? You know, because if FEMA was doing this job as nowhere in the world, the night water being in the dismal situation that it's in now, or Texas, certain parts of Texas, or especially Hawaii. You know, I mean, it's no reason. You know, there's no real move to tell people, well, hey man, listen, either get out here and buy solar panels, or either we're going to make preparation that we manufacture our own right here. or somewhere in the Gulf Coast to make sure that we have that alternative. You dig? So if it passed, you dig? What I was saying about earlier with you about the generators. I've seen people spend up to $1,000 on buying generators. The most you could get out of a generator is 12 hours with a full capacity of gas. If you fill it up, you got you 12 hours. Most of them, that's 5 gallons. 5 gallons of gas will give you 12 hours of electricity. But it's 24 hours in a day. You know? So again, where you gonna get this gas from? Because no filling stations was open.
Right.
People would have, I'm saying people go as far as Baton Rouge to get gas and then bring it back here. How you gonna ride with all this gas? Where's your gas tanks? When it's simple things that we could have done. Do you know that they could have brought just one of those engines off of one of them trains and roll them down them tracks and just let it sit there and idle, and could have provided enough electricity to cover blocks. You know, we could have put generators. Blaine Kern had a generator for every tractor that it had for Mardi Gras, and didn't use any. Not to help our community, but they had a thug that sit up and said that he killed 29 of us. So again, what we gonna do? You know, I mean, the party is over.
Yes.
You know, and it's time for us to get our act together. This year, we just had the Omegas here. Omegas are college-educated blacks. Did we sit down with them and drive up a plan? No, we just partied. We did the little stumping and things and gave concerts and partied with them and didn't even care about them. Ask how many of them that came down here did they go and visit the night ward. We just, from there, prior to that, we had Essence, the largest Essence ever. Every night the concert was sold out. What did they do in the night ward? Nothing. We're gonna have the Bayou Classic. Southern and Grambling gonna come here. You know, they're gonna be right there in the Superdome, going to the French Quarters, where they don't like us. They tolerate us there doing these events because we so. I don't want to say that because I know I have people probably want to burn my house down. You know, but we so stupid. Excuse my expression. You dig? That we go give our money to these people that know they don't like us. I can't think of the name of that bar in the French Quarters where they Razoo killed us, and we still saying, I don't care, he didn't kill me, so I'm going in here and I'm gonna spend my money because I came here for a good time. I don't want to hear about no politics that's happened here. You know, we gave a march during the Essence, and people still went up in there. So, I mean, what can we do? You know, and these kids now, you could tell a kid that done experienced that Superdome in that convention center from one that didn't. You know, you could see why they don't care. They ain't never seen no love. You know, you can't tell them about no brotherhood. I mean, I get the respect if they know me. But if they don't know me, you think I'm just another victim. I'm just another person, prey for these predators, because we done turned them into predators. You dig? When you come up in here and you find more Latinos that just came in here, working in our community, building houses for us, than you have us doing. And at one time, the majority of the construction that was done in this city was done by us. Now we don't even do 10% of it. The majority of it is built by Latinos. I ain't got nothing against them. But when I look across the street from where I live and I see almost 100 Latinos working on a construction job and not one African American, I got a problem. When I see them talking about building movie studios without talking about employing none of us, I got a problem. You know? I got a problem when I see blacks working for less than half of what a white person makes. I got a problem. You know, these disparities got to change. That's the reason why you got these kids killing up each other, because even now, 12, 13 years after Katrina, the largest employer of young African American males in this city is the drug trade. It is sad. That's the dollar that flip over in our community. It stays in our community longer than any other dollar in our community. And something is wrong when that becomes the way. Well, that's all. The only thing I could look at is selling drugs if I want to stay in New Orleans. Most of the kids, one of my friends teach at Landry. In the 3 classes that he teach, he asks each one of them what they're going to do, because they're seniors. What they're going to do after graduation. Only a handful say that they was going to stay in New Orleans. Everybody else say, man, we leaving. I'm leaving. In the richest city of this size in the country, the fastest growing city in America, right here, and you're gonna flee. Something is wrong.
Do you have any parting words for the people of New Orleans?
I won't say for the people of New Orleans, because I can't speak for all the people of this city.
For the black folks in New Orleans.
Oh, well, nah, I got something for parting words for them. You know?
Yes, sir.
And that is, get your act together. Yeah. Break that dependency up on these so-called leaders. Hold them accountable. Look at what others are doing. You know, look at what others are doing, and let's do the same. You know, it shouldn't be that that other people is prospering while we are not. Let's save our community. This is our history. This is the first slave was brought here in 1722. We coming up to the 300-year anniversary of it. Let's make sure that we honor them. We honor the sacrifices that our people have made here. By one, let's stop killing each other over nothing. Let's understand that dope plus capitalism equal genocide. Let's not do this. Let's find other ways to live. I try to tell anyone that, hey man, if you could sell drugs, you could sell drawers. You could sell shoes. You could sell pants. You know. So again, let's find other ways that we can take care of ourselves. And the first thing we need to do is start supporting the Circle Food Store. If you want to show anything, let's make sure that it can survive. Why? Because that's... When I was coming up in Algiers, there was 3 black service stations. 3. That was owned by blacks. 3. And at that time, maybe 20% of us had cars. Because I was raised in the era that we was told you buy a house instead of a car. Now we buy a house, we buy cars and rent a house. You know, but you can't live in no car. We ain't even got enough sense to say, well, I'm gonna buy an RV. We buy cars. We're gonna put our wealth in cars. That as soon as you pull off the lot, it depreciates instead of buying a house. We got to come together and start doing what we did in days of old. The churches need to come together. Because you can't say that you believe in God, but you fear being on the streets. You know? So again, we have to change our ways. And in closing, as a Christian, in 2 Chronicles, the 7th chapter, the 14th verse, where it speaks that if my people who's called by my name would turn from there, and I'm not saying it verbatim because, again, I had a stroke and I can't really, one of the things that is my memories. He said, but if you're called by my name, would turn from their wicked ways, then he'll heal our land. Because one day I believe we're all going to be held accountable. But what did you do? Who did you help? Oh man, I helped my family. Well, the demons in hell help their families. You ain't proving that anybody can help their own. But did you reach out to another family? You know, one thing I love about what Harriet Tubman said, she said, yeah, I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed another 1,000 if only they knew they were slaves.
That's right.
So again, we have to understand this. And it's upon us, those of us with conscience, to be that light for those that are lost.
Power to the people, my brother.
All power.
All power to the people. Thank you.